Hello everyone and welcome to my lecture. So today we are going to start with mitosis. Okay, I've already made a video on the cell cycle, so please make sure that you have viewed that video before you come to this lecture. Okay, so now mitosis, as you all know, is divided into 5 phases or 4 phases: prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase. So let us have a look at these steps sequentially. Before we start with that, please remember, if this is the parent cell, okay, and that parent cell is having two chromosomes, when it undergoes mitosis, what is going to happen is it is going to produce two daughter cells, and each of these two daughter cells is going to have two chromosomes each. And suppose if these two daughter cells further divide, then these daughter cells will again produce two chromosomes each. So that is what I am showing here, and the chromosome number in each daughter cell will be the same, that will be 2. So please remember that mitosis is basically called as an equational division. Okay, and what do you understand by the term equational division? Each cell has got equal number or the same number of chromosomes. So the chromosome number does not reduce in mitosis. That is a separate type of division called as meiosis. I'm going to make a separate lecture on that. So it is called as equational division. So the cells formed because of mitosis are equal or similar or are exactly identical. Similar is a wrong word. So cells produced because of mitosis are identical to the parent cell because they have the same genetic material. Cytoplasm division is also identical. Is this clear? It is also called as equational cell division. Now most of the cells, or 99% of the cells in our body undergo mitosis, except few of them which do not undergo mitosis. Examples of cells which do not undergo mitosis are red blood cells, because red blood cells do not have a nucleus. Okay, and second example is neurons. Now neurons do have a nucleus, however they do not undergo mitosis. So these two are examples of cells which do not undergo mitosis. Is this clear? So now let us start with the steps of mitosis. Okay, so we are going to cover prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase and cytokinesis. Now let me draw a cell just before prophase. Okay, so this is the cell, correct? This is the nucleus or the nuclear membrane. All right, these are the two centrosomes. Obviously they are having centrioles inside them, so I will just draw them over here. Okay, and inside this nuclear membrane is present the genetic material, and it is in the form of chromatin. As you all know, throughout the interphase, genetic material is in the form of chromatin. So this is the cell which is in the G2 phase. Okay, and obviously if you want to show that the spindle fibers are formed, then we can show the spindle fibers coming out from the centrosome. So this is the cell, suppose in G2 phase. Okay, now what happens is the first phase of mitosis. So let us start with that. First phase is called as the prophase. So what differences will be seen now in the cell, or what changes will occur in the cell? So first of all, what is going to happen is the nuclear membrane will begin to disappear. So I am drawing a dotted nuclear membrane, which means that it is beginning to disappear. Why do you want to remove the nuclear membrane, or why does it disappear? Because you want to remove the chromosomes. Okay, and a lot of things are going to change in that chromosome, so you want to remove the restriction which is there, or you want to remove the membrane. So first thing that happens in the prophase is the disappearance of nuclear membrane. The second thing that happens is the chromatin condenses into chromosomes. So just imagine that this is the chromatin. It condenses, it gets tightly packed into chromosomes. Even this condensation I have explained in the last lecture of the cell cycle, so please make sure that you have watched that video. So let us assume that the chromosome number of this cell is 4. So I will just draw 4 chromosomes. Okay, so chromatin has condensed into chromosome, and the next thing that happens is the centrosomes begin to move away from each other. Okay, so you can see in this G2 phase cell, the centrosomes are very close to each other. However, in the prophase stage, they are beginning to move away, and obviously you can see that the spindle fibers have increased in length. Spindle fibers are the proteins which help in attachment to the chromosome. They are also called as microtubules. Is this clear? Okay, so these are the changes, and by the time the prophase ends, this nuclear membrane would have completely disappeared. Okay, is this clear? So just let us write down these points quickly. What is the first point? First point under prophase is that the nuclear membrane disappears. So let us write down that nuclear membrane disappears. What is the next thing that happens? Chromatin condenses into chromosomes. So I will write down chromosomes are formed. Is this clear? What is the next point? Centrosomes move away. So centrosomes repel each other. Okay, and obviously the spindle will increase. So if you want to write, you can write that down. So I will write that down. Spindle fiber increase. Okay, so let me write it down over here. Sorry, spindle fiber increases in length. Is this clear? So are these changes noted? What happens in prophase? Now we move on to the next phase, which is called as the metaphase. So what happens in metaphase is that let me draw it first. So this is the cell. Now the centrosomes have moved on to the opposite sides, that is the poles. Okay, and obviously inside each of the centrosomes centrioles are present. Please remember, in a plant cell centrioles are absent. So these centrosomes have reached the poles because they have moved away from each other. That is clear. And what happens is this nuclear membrane has disappeared. These 4 chromosomes are going to align in this central axis. So I can actually draw them like this. Okay, and this imaginary axis on which these chromosomes are aligned is called as the metaphase plate. Okay, it means the central axis, and that is why this stage is also called as metaphase. Let me write down the names of the phases. This is prophase, this is metaphase. Okay, and then what happens is the spindle fibers which are coming out from the centrosomes, each of this spindle fiber gets connected to the centromere of the chromosome. So I can show the connections like this. Okay, so these spindle fibers which are connected to the chromosome, they are basically connected to the centromere of the chromosome. So I will just draw a simple structure over here of the chromosome so that you understand. Now this is the chromosome, correct, and this is the centromere which is present in the center. Now this centromere is basically surrounded by proteins on 2 sides. Okay, so let me label the parts. This one entire part is called as the chromatid, correct. Again, this entire part is the chromatid. This central part is the centromere, correct. And these proteins which are attached are called as kinetochores. So kinetochores are proteins which act like glue. So what is going to happen is one spindle fiber will attach to one kinetochore, other spindle fiber will attach to other kinetochore, and that is how the kinetochores help in attachment of the chromosome to the spindle fibers. Is this clear? So kinetochores are present on either side of the centromere. Is this clear? Centromere is basically also called as the primary constriction, but I am not going to go into those details right now. So I hope this arrangement is clear. Okay, this is called as metaphase. So what are we going to write under metaphase? First of all, we are going to write centrosomes reach opposite poles. Is this clear? Second point that we are going to write is going to be what? Second point is going to be chromosomes get arranged on metaphase plate, which is an imaginary axis. Okay, that is the second point. Then what is the third point? Spindle fibers attach to the centromere, okay. So that is with the help of kinetochore, and these are the things which happen in metaphase. Is this clear? Okay, so I hope you have understood this. So let me just write this point slightly up. Okay, so nuclear membrane disappears, chromosomes are formed, and next is centrosomes repel each other. Okay, so these are the points of prophase, these are the points of metaphase. So is this clear now? Now metaphase is the best stage to view a chromosome because these are fully condensed chromosomes which are present. If you see the prophase, then the chromosomes are yet not fully formed. Okay, they are still getting condensed from chromatin to chromosome. So the best stage to view chromosomes is the metaphase stage because the chromosomes are large, thick, and you can easily see both the chromatids of a chromosome. Why are the chromosomes having two chromatids? Because of the S phase. Please remember, the DNA material doubles, so an extra chromatid is present on each chromosome, so two chromatids. Now let us go ahead. The next phase which is present, that phase is called as the anaphase. Okay, so now what is going to happen in the anaphase? So in the anaphase, first of all, the spindle fibers at each poles are going to pull the chromosomes toward their respective poles. Because of that, the cell is going to assume a slightly elliptical or an oval shape. So I'm going to draw that over here. Okay, so you can see this elliptical shape. Then we are going to draw the centrosomes as always with centrioles in them. And now what is going to happen is the spindle fibers are going to pull the chromosomes. Now each chromosome is made up of two chromatids, and both those chromatids are called as sister chromatids because they are joined to each other with the help of centromere. So two chromatids of the same chromosome are called as, I will write it down over here, they are called as sister chromatids. Okay, for example, if this is a chromosome, then the chromatids, both these chromatids are called sister chromatids. Okay, so what happens is, because each sister chromatid is being pulled towards the opposite side by the spindle fiber, the sister chromatids separate and one chromosome breaks up into two parts. So I will show you that. So this is your spindle fiber, and what it has done is it has pulled one sister chromatid upward. Again, this is the spindle fiber, and it has pulled another sister chromatid downward. So one chromosome has split up into two. Again, we are going to show the remaining ones in the similar way. Okay, so you can see each of the chromosome has split at the centromere, and that is causing the sister chromatids to separate, and they are going to move upwards. So this is going to move upwards, this chromatids are going to move downwards. Is this clear? So this stage is called as anaphase. Please remember this. Okay, so what do we write down under anaphase? First point is going to be sister chromatids split. Okay, I think that is the only point that we can write. If you want, you can write cell becomes elliptical, okay, or oval in shape. That is it. So the spindle fibers pull the chromosomes and the sister chromatids separate. Now we come to the last part, okay, of this nuclear division, and that is called as the telophase, where the nuclear division is going to complete. So what is going to happen in telophase is, so now again the cell I am drawing, correct, and what has happened is the four sister chromatids on either end have moved towards the poles. Okay, 4 over here, 4 over here, and I'm going to draw the centrosome, one centrosome, as you can see, the second centrosome, and the spindle fibers job has been completed. So the spindle fibers dissolve in the cytoplasm, they are no longer required. So these are amino acid proteins and they amino acid chains, so they dissolve. Okay, so that job has been done, so they are not required. Now what happens is, a nuclear membrane begins to form around each of these chromosomes. So I'm going to draw a nuclear membrane. I'm sorry. So this is the nuclear membrane. So you can see that this chromatids have nuclear membrane grown and this have nuclear membrane growing outside them. So please remember, in prophase the nuclear membrane disappears. Okay, over here you can see it is disappearing. Over here you can see it is reappearing because you have distributed the genetic material. See, please remember, the chromosome number has not changed. See, this is going to form one cell, this upper part, this lower part is going to form another cell. Each cell is going to have 4 chromosomes because you can see 4 chromatids. I have already told you in the previous lecture that chromosome can have 2 chromatids or 1 chromatid. Okay, and then what is going to happen is, when these individual cells will go in S phase, they will create extra chromatid for them through DNA replication. So again, when those cells reach mitosis, they will have 2 chromatids. Okay, so each chromosome will have 2 chromatids. Is this clear? So right now the chromosome number of this cell is also 4, this is also 4, although the cell has not divided. So this is called as telophase. And what happens next in telophase is, the nucleus has split, the chromosomes have split. Now chromosomes will again decondense into chromatin. So what I am going to do is, I am going to show the decondensation. So I am just going to draw chromatin over here. So once again, in prophase chromatin condenses into chromosome. In telophase, after the division is over, chromosomes decondense. See, condensation means coiling, decondensation means uncoiling. Chromatin over here coils into chromosome, chromosomes uncoil into chromatin, because the next step after mitosis is going to be interphase, and in interphase genetic material is in the form of chromatin. So do you understand? Now chromatin is back, and that ends your telophase. And let me write it down over here. So this is telophase. Is this clear? Okay, now let me write down the points. What are the points in telophase? First of all, nuclear membrane reappears, correct? Next point is going to be chromosomes decondense, that is uncoil into chromatin, and that is it. These are the 2 points. So with that, the nuclear division is over. So these first 4 steps of mitosis are also called as karyokinesis. Let me write it down over here. Karyokinesis. Okay, so this word is made up of 2 words. First word is karyon, and karyon means nucleus, and kinesis means splitting. So the nucleus has successfully been split into 2 parts. See, this was your single nucleus. Now you have 2 nuclei over here. Can you see this? 2 nuclei from single nucleus. So nucleus has been split, karyokinesis. So prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase, all these 4 are a part of karyokinesis. Now we come to the last step of mitosis, which is called cytokinesis, because you need to form 2 cells. So you need to split the cytoplasm. So let us just go slightly ahead. Okay, and here we are going to study the last part of mitosis, and that is going to be cytokinesis. So what happens is, after telophase ends, a furrow begins to form. Okay, so what exactly is a furrow? We'll just see over here. So the cell membrane basically begins to invaginate. Invaginate means it begins to form a structure like this. Can you see this? This inward growth, this is called as invagination, or it is also called as a furrow. In the case of plant cell, a cell plate is formed. So if possible, I'll make a separate lecture on that. Right now you remember this. And what happens is, this furrow continues to grow inwards till the cell splits into 2. And what is going to happen is, finally out of this single cell there will be 2 cells which will be formed. So you will have a single cell over here, and you will have a single cell over here. Okay, inside each cell you will have single centrosome, correct? this centrosome will divide during G2 phase, and again that single cell will have two centrosomes, correct? What else will you have? You will have the nuclear membrane, obviously. So complete nuclear membrane over here, and inside that you will be having genetic material in the form of chromatin. And you have these two cells, chromosome number has remained the same. So when these two cells enter S phase, again the DNA will double, and when that same cell enters mitosis, the chromosome number will be 4 with two chromatids. Right now, if you condense this chromatin into chromosome, each chromosome will have only one chromatid. So now you understand why S phase is important. So that ends your mitosis. So what points will you write? This is called as cytokinesis. Cyto is cytoplasm, kinesis is splitting. So cytokinesis is splitting of cytoplasm, karyokinesis is splitting of nucleus. Let us write this down, cytokinesis. Okay, cytoplasm split or splitting. So mitosis is karyokinesis plus cytokinesis. What occurs first? Karyokinesis followed by cytokinesis. Is this clear? So what point should I write down over here? I'll just write down single parent cell splits to form two daughter cells. Is this clear? Okay, so guys, I was planning to make this into a mini lecture, but I have ended up explaining the entire mitosis, so this has turned into a full-fledged lecture. So I hope you have understood this. Okay, so basically in mitosis we start with the prophase, move on to the metaphase, anaphase. So anaphase is basically the phase where the chromosome number kind of doubles up for a period of time, because this is a single cell and the chromosome number is 8 over here, but that is just temporary, because after telophase cytokinesis occurs and the chromosome number of the cell is again restored. So I guess that's the end of this lecture, and I hope mitosis is now clear to you. I will be making a separate lecture on meiosis in a short while. And once again friends, if you have not watched my previous lecture on cell cycle, do watch it. Okay, it will be very helpful. So thanks a lot. If you have not subscribed to my channel, do subscribe. Press the bell icon, put a like, and please share it with your friends if you find this very informative. Okay.